everybody, Steph here and welcome back to my channel. I'm going to do another what I've been reading. So I read a lot of books on holiday on my Kindle, but I don't know what I've done with my Kindle, so I can't really talk to you about them. I can kind of. So I read The Handmaid's Tale, which I'm in love with, and I'm actually reading it for a second time. Thought it was brilliant, and I really do I really want to get a paperback version of it so I can just read sections of it. I'm almost finished watching the TV version of it as well. I've got about 3 episodes left, so I need to get on with that before it disappears. And then I just read a few fun chick flick type books whose names I can't remember, which is why I wanted my Kindle to show you. But since I've been back, I've read a few paper books, which is my favourite kind of book. Hello. I'm just looking at my to be read pile, which is quite high. So the books I have read recently, I feel like there's more than this, but I don't know what I've done with them. I've possibly passed them on to a neighbour. Is the first one I've got here is On the Other Side by Carrie Hope Fletcher. I've done a blog post on this. If you want to read that, I will try and remember to link that below, or if you go to seeingspotsblog.co.uk, I think it's the last post that is up. It'll be one of the recent ones anyway. Didn't really like this, and I hate saying that about books. It was never making it to the do not finish pile, but I felt there was a lot of things that I would have changed about this book, and I've actually mentally rewritten the ending, or a big chunk of the ending, and it makes it so much better. My ending is so much better. Not to be big-headed, but it is. I asked a friend the other day, can you write fanfic about something you hate? And hate is a strong word, and I apologise for that. Hate is probably the wrong word. It's dislike. I really like watching Carrie's YouTube videos, which is one of the reasons I picked it up, and it was on 2 for £7. But what did I like about this? I liked the premise of it. I liked the overall flow of the story, but there was some big things that I hated, and I'm using that word again. Maybe I did hate it. Maybe I can't stop using that word. So I hated the names. There were Snow, Winter, Summer. These are surnames, not first names. I hated that element of it. If you've read it, there is a thing about a tree and some fruit, the fruit of the tree. I hated everything about that apart from the bit about the storms, which I liked the idea of. I liked how she shared her drawings with her daughter. So there's a magpie looking at me. I hated, stop saying that word, Stephanie. It's got an element of magical realism to it, and it didn't work for me. This story feels very much, it's Carrie and Pete. And yet I get that you draw from your real life experiences. Another thing that I didn't like was there was a mention of, so the main, let's backtrack. So the premise is basically Evie Snow, shit name, is 82 when she quietly passes away. So rather than getting to heaven, she has 3 wrongs that she needs to right. So heaven in this book isn't St. Peter and the pearly gates with these jangly keys. Heaven is the place that you've been happiest, and my camera's going to overheat, but I'm just going to carry on talking. The place where you were happy. So she turns up in her version of purgatory at 27 years old, but she can't, outside of the apartment she lived in, but she can't get in because her soul is too heavy. I quite like that concept of heaven. You know, that is a really sweet concept. And then she meets the old concierge of the block, whose heaven is the whole building, and he guides her to right the wrongs. Have I said that right? Yeah. So there were definitely things like that. So what happens is you kind of transported back to when she was 27. The thing that I couldn't place is the time zone, and I'm sure that's true, but if it's written now and she's 20 and she goes back to being 27, it would be in the 60s, but it felt more like the 80s or 90s, and I guess maybe that's part of the magical. But when they were in the now, it felt like now, but when they were in the past, it also felt like it was in the past 15-20 years, or 30 years if we go back to the 80s. So I didn't like that. And there's one kind of line where she meets a boyfriend, and in passing he says to himself that he was bisexual and that he'd had one boyfriend and one girlfriend, something like that. And then, so you're like, oh, okay, right, so he's bisexual, fair enough. And then it's never ever mentioned again. Nothing is ever, it's not drawn out into the story. I mean, her brother is openly gay to his friends, but this boyfriend's bisexuality is never ever mentioned again. Why mention it in the first place? And that's how I would have rewritten the ending. That would have come into part of it, but I can't say that because it's yeah. If you like Carrie, read the book, support her. I really like her YouTube channel. I really think she has promise as a writer, but I just didn't enjoy that at all, and I've spent nearly 8 minutes talking about it. Okay, so when I bought that was 2 for £7. The second book I bought for my £7 was Hidden Figures. Again, I didn't like this either. I didn't hate it. I missed seeing the film when it was out in the cinema. I just kept zoning out. It's fiction based on fact, and there was a lot of sort of technical things mixed in, and I just kept sort of skipping it. So I feel that this is a book where you need to see the film to get the book. So I'm waiting until the film comes down to about £5 on Amazon. There's also like that much acknowledgements and notes and stuff. I'm a page folder, I don't care. So I feel like I need to read this again once I've seen the film. Great subject, really kind of interesting to get a lot of the backstories of based on women who worked for NASA during that space race. It centres on a series of black women who'd, a lot of them ended up being teachers, but they'd gone to university, they'd studied maths, and then because of the time of the century that it was, I don't know what I'm saying, all they could be was teachers. There was still a segregation, they had different bathrooms, they weren't treated as professionals, they were called computers, not analysts. They weren't respected by the male workforce, and all that is really interesting, but then some of the technical NASA type stuff was just a bit like, whoa, and I'm an analyst and I should get shit like that, and I just was bored. So I'm going to watch the film, I'm going to read the book again. And the last book I want to talk about before my camera blows up, because it is going like this, is Lucy Diamond, The House of New Beginnings. Confirmed chick lit, and friggin' loved this book. Again, with most books like this, there is a lot of waffle, and it's like the last third that anything gets going and gets interesting. but I laughed, I felt pain in my heart, I wanted to be friends with these women. Absolutely loved it, and I really want another book with these characters. Lucy Diamond, I don't know why I'm being angry at her, because I wanted to do something nice. I wanted to write me a new book. Yeah, I've read a lot of Lucy Diamond books and I've enjoyed the majority of them. And hey, so we're a few minutes later now. My camera did overheat at the end of my book rant. I'm not sure where I got up to, but I was saying I definitely wanted another book by Lucy Diamond with these characters. I just wanted to come back on and just say thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!